Most people are asleep, but they don't know it. They move through life as if on autopilot, making choices they believe are their own, chasing dreams they think they desire, fighting battles that were never theirs to begin with. But what if everything you believe about yourself, your goals, your values, even your identity, is nothing more than a carefully crafted illusion? Plato's allegory of the cave is one of the most striking metaphors for human ignorance. Imagine prisoners chained inside a dark cave, watching shadows on the wall, believing them to be reality. Their world is nothing but flickering illusions projected by forces they cannot see. This is how most of humanity exists, trapped in a prison of conditioned thought, never realizing they are mere spectators of their own existence. From the moment we are born, we are shaped by external forces: parents, culture, religion, media, education. Each one molds us, feeds us narratives, tells us who we should be and what we should want. We inherit beliefs before we even have the ability to question them. The illusion of free will is perhaps the greatest deception of all. We think we are making independent choices, but in reality, most of what we do is predictable, dictated by subconscious programming. Psychologist Daniel Kahneman, in his work on cognitive biases, revealed how much of human decision-making is driven not by rational thought, but by mental shortcuts and emotional impulses. We think we are logical beings, but our minds are filled with blind spots. The confirmation bias makes us seek information that aligns with what we already believe. The authority bias makes us trust those in power without question. The normalcy bias makes us ignore uncomfortable truths that threaten our worldview. But the illusion runs even deeper. Society operates on a system of collective myths, as philosopher Yuval Noah Harari argues. Money, laws, nations, these are not objective truths, but shared fictions that exist only because enough people believe in them. We kill, sacrifice, and dedicate our lives to things that are, at their core, imaginary constructs. The irony? Most will spend their lives defending these illusions rather than questioning them. And what about happiness? Here too, we have been deceived. The modern world sells us the idea that happiness is found in acquisition. More money, more status, more validation. But studies in psychology show that beyond a certain point, wealth does not increase well-being. The hedonic treadmill ensures that no matter what we achieve, we quickly return to our baseline level of happiness. The system is designed to keep us running, always chasing, never arriving. Most people never realize they are trapped because the illusion is comfortable. It gives them purpose, certainty, a sense of belonging. But for the few who begin to wake up, the cracks in reality start to show. The life they thought they were living was never really theirs. The choices they made were never truly their own. The deeper question emerges: if everything I believe is a lie, then who am I? If you believe you are free, it is only because the system has trained you to believe so. True control is never enforced by chains. It is embedded in the very fabric of reality, so seamlessly that you never think to question it. The most sophisticated form of enslavement is the one where the prisoner doesn't even realize the walls exist. Look at the world around you. Everything you consume, every belief you hold, every action you take has been shaped by forces beyond your perception. You are not an individual making independent choices. You are a product of a complex web of biological impulses, social conditioning, and psychological manipulation. Start with biology. Evolution has programmed you to seek pleasure, avoid pain, and prioritize survival. Your brain is wired to chase dopamine, the chemical of reward, whether through food, social validation, or fleeting moments of success. The entire structure of modern society exploits this weakness. Social media platforms, casinos, advertisements, they all operate on the same principle: intermittent rewards that keep you hooked, never satisfied, always craving more. The human mind is not built for freedom, it is built for dependency. Then comes society, the invisible hand guiding your every move. The idea that you must work a job you hate to afford things you don't need, to impress people you don't even like. Where did this belief come from? The education system does not teach you how to think, it teaches you how to obey. You are trained from childhood to wake up at a certain time, follow orders, meet deadlines. By the time you enter adulthood, the habit of compliance is so deeply ingrained that you mistake it for free will. Governments and corporations understand one fundamental truth: Control is most effective when it is self-imposed. People do not need to be forced into submission when they willingly participate in their own subjugation. The masses are fed distractions, entertainment, consumerism, ideological battles that keep them divided, so they never focus on the real enemy. As Noam Chomsky once said, the smart way to keep people passive and obedient is to strictly limit the spectrum of acceptable opinion, but allow very lively debate within that spectrum. And then there is psychological control, the most insidious of all. Edward Bernays, the father of modern propaganda, understood that people do not make rational choices. They are driven by subconscious desires. He used this knowledge to manipulate entire populations, convincing them to buy products, support wars, accept ideologies, all while making them believe these choices were their own. The techniques he pioneered are still in use today, more refined than ever. But here is the final twist. Even those who see the truth often remain trapped. Awareness alone is not enough. The system does not fear those who recognize their chains. It fears those who learn how to break them. But is breaking free even possible? Or is every escape route just another illusion? There is a reason most people never seek the truth. It is not liberating, it is devastating. The illusion, no matter how false, provides comfort, purpose, and direction. But once you begin to see through it, you enter a different kind of prison, one of awareness, isolation, and existential dread. Nietzsche warned of this when he spoke of the abyss. If you gaze long into an abyss, the abyss also gazes into you. To see reality as it truly is means stripping away everything that once gave your life meaning. The institutions you trusted, corrupt. The dreams you chased, manufactured. The identity you built, a construct. There is no solid ground beneath your feet, only the vast emptiness of a universe that does not care whether you live or die. This is the stage where most people break. When faced with the horrifying realization that nothing has inherent meaning, the mind revolts. Some retreat into old illusions, seeking refuge in religion, ideology, or materialism. Others spiral into nihilism, drowning in despair. The weight of truth is too much for the average person to bear. Psychologist Carl Jung spoke of the shadow self, the dark, suppressed aspects of the psyche that most people ignore. When you awaken, you do not just see the lies of society, you see the lies within yourself. You realize that your fears, insecurities, and compulsions are not random, but deeply embedded in your subconscious. You see how much of your life was dictated by childhood wounds, unresolved trauma, and hidden impulses. And the worst part? There is no undoing this knowledge. At this point, many experience what existentialists call the absurd, the contradiction between humanity's desire for meaning and the universe's indifference. Albert Camus argued that this realization leads to three paths: denial, self-destruction, or rebellion. Most choose denial, clinging to comforting stories. Some take the extreme route, seeing no reason to continue existing. But the rarest few choose rebellion, not against the system, but against meaninglessness itself. But even this rebellion comes with its own paradox. If meaning is an illusion, then isn't the act of creating one also a lie? Is there any real way out, or is every so-called truth just another layer of deception? What if the search for truth is just another illusion? What if every escape leads to another prison, every revelation to another deception? The deeper you go, the more you realize that there is no final answer, only an endless cycle of waking up, breaking free, and discovering new walls around you. The pursuit of freedom, like everything else, may itself be a trap. Consider this. Even those who claim to be awakened are still bound by something. Some become obsessed with exposing corruption, trapped in the role of the revolutionary. Others embrace nihilism, imprisoned by their own despair. Some reject all meaning, only to create new dogmas of their own. No matter where you turn, there is always a structure shaping your thoughts, emotions, and actions. Even the rejection of all belief is, paradoxically, a belief in itself. Jiddu Krishnamurti once said, "It is no measure of health to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick society." But what if there is no healthy way to exist in this world? To live with awareness is to live in conflict. You see the system for what it is, yet you must still participate in it. You recognize the absurdity of life, yet you must still wake up each day and act as if it matters. True escape, in the absolute sense, may be impossible. The final realization is this: freedom is not about escaping the illusion. It is about choosing your illusion. There is no objective truth waiting to be uncovered, no singular path to enlightenment. The mind will always seek patterns, meaning, and structure. The only real choice you have is which framework you will consciously embrace. Some choose creation, making art, philosophy, or ideas to give their lives form. Others choose detachment, living as observers rather than participants. Some accept the game and play it fully, aware of its absurdity, but engaging nonetheless. Perhaps the highest form of wisdom is not to escape the illusion, but to dance with it, to know it is a dream and still live it fully. As Alan Watts said, "You are under no obligation to be the same person you were 5 minutes ago." In that lies the only freedom that may ever be possible, the freedom to redefine yourself, moment by moment, without clinging to any ultimate truth. But here's the catch: most people will never see this. They will search for finality, for certainty, for some external salvation. They will move from one system of thought to another, convinced that this time they have found the real answer. Only the rare few will understand that there is no final answer. And perhaps, just perhaps, that is the most terrifying and liberating truth of all.